So Rooney, now we're going to start with the biltong. How do we select a piece of meat?
So separate your meat if you do dry it. And I prefer personally top silver side because it's a solid piece of meat and at the end product it's quite nice as well.
What about game meat?
Any part of it you can use. There is like rooibos, a small animal, so you can use the legs, the back part here. And like impala, it's a bigger pieces and it's almost the same as beef. So you use all parts of the game.
So whatever I can get a cut out of it.
You can do it for both of yes.
I've heard guys talking about grading of the meat. What exactly does that entail?
Grading is all depends on the animal, the age of the animal. If it's an acre, it's a very young animal. That's what we're using at the moment. It's better, it's more juicier as well, the young animal. So at then the A1, 2 or 3, that's different type of fat layer you're getting. A1 is low fat, 2, 3 is fat layer going higher in fat. So I prefer A3 because the medium fat all around to me and gives you that juicy.
So you need a bit of fat on top.
That's right.
What's a sea?
Sea grade is a more older animal. And it's a yellow fat layer on it. The people prefer, most of the guys like the fat. They like the fat. And yes, I think in general, sea grade is good, but today we're going to use the A grade. It's more healthy. So if you want to go for healthy or whatever, you know, sea grade is quite good, but today we're going to go for the A grade. It's less fat on it.
Really? How do you cut the meat for biltong?
Job, the first priority is you need a very sharp knife. I've got the steel here. Steel is not as sharp as the knife. Just while I'm cutting, I'm just going to the edge of the knife, just keep it sharp. Okay. Safety is the first concern about this. First priority about cutting anything that's biltong. Because if you use a blunt knife, accidents can occur because you're going to start to sawing the meat and not cutting it.
So cheap kitchen knives are out?
No, it's out. Preferably good steak knife. That's what it is. You're going to start on the one side here by a big senior here. You take it, shift it down there. You'll always be able to see your hand, the left hand.
So if I don't see my hand, I'm in trouble.
That's correct, you cut yourself. So we're going to cut it open here. And you'll see now, I grab it and it's going to flow from itself. Can you see how I'm going down? That's it. Through the senior, feel it like that. Lift it up. Put your hand, your knife under through, and all you're doing is sliding it. Sliding it through. Make sure your left hand is always away. Can't keep your hand on this side, so even knife slips. You're just going to cut yourself. Understand? So it's very important. Keep your knife, see your hand is on that side of the knife, and then you can go. No problem.
Stop, stop, stand still. Hoeveel vingers op jou lijk. As jy vir my kan sê waar die liefde lê.
The meat is now clean, everything's removed. How do we cut the meat?
Even length with a grain. Very important. Because at your end product, you will see at your end product, what you'll see is you get a biltong, you haven't got a knife with you. So you can take the meat and tear it off.
Rip it down
in strips, yeah. Or else with a knife and let's slice it nicely. It's more tender, you slice it, get into grain.
Oh yeah, so you need to know so you're soft on the bite.
Last time, even guys were forced to believe it.
Stop, stop, stand still. Hoeveel vingers op jou lijk. As jy vir my kan sê, kan jy by my kom lê. Stop, stop, stand.
Rudy, how thick would you cut your meat?
Job, I'll prefer 2 centimeters. Some people like 5 centimeters, but I think that's a bit too thick. Because the chance for me to go off on 5 centimeters is quite good. So 2 centimeters I think is ideal size, and it won't take about ages to get dry as well.
Stop, stop, stand still. Hoeveel vingers op jou lijk. As jy vir my kan sê, kan jy by my kom lê. Stop, stop, stand still. Hoeveel vingers op jou lijk. As jy vir my kan sê waar die liefde lê. Dan Sarah hou ons dop. Al ons moet pas op.
On 25 kgs of meat, you can use between 500 grams and 1 kilograms of coarse salt. Use ample white pepper. Mix the coarse salt and the pepper thoroughly and make sure that it is evenly spread before you place it on the meat. Don't be shy with the vinegar. Put a nice amount of vinegar in the bottom of the dish that you're going to place the meat in. It will help to absorb all your spices and your peppers and your salt. Pack your meat like a Lego. Make sure there's no space. First start off with spices at the bottom of the dish, and then you start placing the meat into the dish, and you make sure that you place on every layer a layer of spice and vinegar. Vinegar is very important here. It allows for the absorption of the spices correctly into the meat itself. Then you take the meat and you place the whole dish into the fridge for an overnighter, and you can leave it there, some people say, for a day or two before you hang it. Don't be afraid to utilize spices and to mix those spices with your salt and your pepper. The spices especially that you like. Unique spices always brings a unique recipe, and the idea is to establish one's own unique recipe so that people come back for more. Remember to place a layer of vinegar on every layer of meat that you place on top of each other. In the morning, when you take it out of the fridge, make sure that you wash down the vinegar before you hang it. The actual spices would have then been taken in by the meat, and the vinegar is only utilized as the catalyst for the meat to absorb the spices. It's important that you wash it down before you hang it. You can use the normal money clips to stick through the meat and to make it hang anywhere you please. It is important that the meat that you hang do not touch each other, as there needs to be airflow that travels between the pieces of meat. If they touch each other, they will go rotten. Autumn and especially winter time is the ideal time to make biltong, as the air is dry and there's not too much moisture in the air. The normal temperature required is about 30 degrees. Slightly lower might also be sufficient. But it would be good to have a fan that actually is directed at the meat. It will speed up the drying process. There you go, you're done. It's time for a beer. And you must admit it was really easy, and I must say it gets easier with every beer.